Very important, because this is the lead to the division of the church. Because we need to understand why the Catholic start, and after this one, from the Catholic, the Protestants start, and we used to before until year 451 one church. Like we are one country, it was one church. The Pope of Alexandria, all the Pope, we can pray with this church, the church will pray with us, but what makes all this happen? Not only for the faith, with politics. And we know every city divided in itself, destroy. Every home divided in itself, destroy. Every church divided in themselves, destroy. That's what happened in the church. The Pope of Alexandria was the most intelligent people, the most people study theology. That's why my advice, when you want to read about theology, read the Eastern Church. Don't read the Western Church, because in that time when we talk about Thomas Lown was a Pope, and the Pope and the head of politics in that time, the Pope of the city, he was the best friend with the king. So whatever the Pope he wanted, the king he do. So I give you this introduction to understand what led to all this problem. Pope Dioscorus, the pillar of the faith, number 24, he passed away. And before he passed away, he was, like we said last time, excommunicate Nestorius, because Nestorius was believe Saint Mary, mother of Jesus, not mother of God. He said Jesus, he born as a human, and after he born, the divinity come on him. So if, like we discussed before, we finished last time, there is, if any time Jesus not God, that means the salvation and the redemption, it's not complete. That's why the Eastern Pope always focus, and that's what Eastern Church always focus about theology. Antioch Theological College was talking about a lot of imagination, a lot of what happened if this, they was talking about philosophy too much. And this even teaching a lot of philosophy in their church. That's why you found Nestorius excommunicate from our church. That's why you found another Pope, he called Philippianus of Antioch, will be excommunicated today. That's why you will see the Pope, even from the time he moved away from the right faith, Pope Dioscorus will excommunicate him. So always you have to understand, any church or anyone preaching, there is a time Jesus, not God, that's not right faith. Because we need someone without sin, someone unlimited to save the world. Anyone he say was any time Jesus, he not complete God and the complete human, that means he's full in heresies. That's why these people full in heresies. And the scholar of the church, they said, we're very lucky these people have heresies, because these heresies make us to do like the creed and do the introduction of the creed, and we do the last part of the creed about the Holy Spirit. So these heresies helping us now, this is the creed we follow. So anyone he say, what we tell him what faith you follow. If he say Athanasius and Pope Corolus, pillar of faith, we tell him you are in the right faith. A lot of people, like you talk to the people from Iraqian, Kildani, all these people they say Nestorius is a saint. We excommunicate him and he leave from his throne to be in Egypt, and I told you he died in Egypt just last time. Pope Corolus passed away. Still people very angry because their Pope excommunicate and the king exile him in Egypt. So after this one, the church choose someone, his name Pope Dioscorus, number 25. And remember his name very well, because we call him our scholar Dioscorus, our teacher Dioscorus. And unfortunately, we have only one church in all Coptic church, one church only in Cairo after his name. I have one son, his name Athanasius. I told my wife, if we got another one, we'll call him Dioscorus. She said, no way. The name, it's a little bit hard. And unfortunately, not a lot of people study this history of a church. They understand about Pope Dioscorus, but he done very good to the church. They choose him. He was a student in the Theological College of Alexandria. They choose him to be a Pope, and he stayed Pope for about 10 years. Okay, so they choose him 434. The time I tell the date, we come closer to 451. 451, put in your head, this is the day, this is the year divided to all Eastern Church and Western Church. They choose him as a pope. In the time they choose someone pope, he send a greeting to all the other church. I am the new pope, we need to make peace, because there was one church in that time. Okay, the time he be a pope, we have, the Pope of Antioch, Johanna. He was supporting Nestorius, and there was a lot of conflict. When we said last time, he come late of the council of Ephesians the first. He come late, and after they come late, they put Pope Carolus in jail, and Pope Carolus come out. We explain everyone. You can go to the sermon I put in your group. You can go through this one. They found the Pope Dioscorus, he surprised, he treated him very well. He said, congratulations for your position and all this one. Okay, still Nestorius, some people follow him because some of them not understand his heresies very well, and some of them, they support him because they was their Pope. Anyhow, we're coming slowly. Another person, his name Otachi or Oticha. This person was the head of monastery, 300 monk. He was against Nestorius all the way. And during his against Nestorius, he fell in another heresies. Nestorius, he said, Saint Mary, she gave birth to a human, and after the divinity come on him. He said, no. Oticha, he said something different. He said, the humanity disappear in the divinity. Like exactly, you get the ocean and you drop one drop of vinegar. So they disappear inside, they dissolve inside. So straight away, Pope Dioscorus, he heard about the heresies, he didn't talk yet. But what's happened, his bishop, his name Eusebius, of this head of monastery, he told him, what you say it's wrong. We need to say his divinity, full divinity, and humanity, it's full. What you say it's wrong. You let the humanity disappear in the divinity. That's wrong. He didn't listen. He went his pope. His name in that one, Philippianus. The time they just finished this council of the church, and the previous pope was excommunicated. They said, "Oh my God, we're coming to a problem again." He said, "Don't worry about his heresies. Leave it. He's a very old man, and he only in the monastery. He will die, and his heresies die." So he started to talk. People visit the monastery. The monk started teaching them these heresies. So his Eusebius, his bishop, started to get angry. He went to his pope, Philippianus. He said, "What you do, it's wrong." People start to hear about his heresies. So he said, "All right, bring him. We have to sit with him." They bring him. They said, Oticha was a very sneaky person. What he said, different what he believed. They tell him, "All right, tell us exactly what you believe." He started playing the word. They said, "Listen, you have to be very clear. What you say is wrong. Unless you say exactly what you believe." He started to give them hard word. They have two meanings, but they excommunicate him. Oticha or Otachius excommunicate. In that time, he sent a letter to the bishop around the world to let them, "I need to have appeals." They excommunicate for him hidden monastery, and they excommunicate him, and these heresies, they said no one will believe in this house. So he started sending a letter to Leon. Leon, very big name, you will hear him all the time. Leon, he's the Pope of Rome. When we have the council of the church, we never have any Pope of Rome come. He only send the priests, send the deacons, because they think they above or the main church. Anyhow, when he sent him a letter, he said, "They excommunicate you wrong, and I believe in this and this and this," like what he write, not what he believe. Leon, he said, "You, the one very good, I will talk to them." He started to talk to the king. "Please, we need to have a bill council to let Otachi come back. What happened to him, it's not fair." So he started to talk to the king. The king Theodosius, we call him the Christian king or the Orthodox king. We call him the junior Theodosius, who is the best one, and he supports the Orthodoxy very well. This king, He have three sisters. They call the three virgin, or they call the three princess, or the three nun. His older sister, she was the evil one. She doesn't want anyone to take the throne. That's why she found a wife to her brother to marry, so he can have a child, and this child can be next king. We all join together. That's why I tell you what's happened later. So these three, she told her two sisters, we need to be a nun. She forced them. The three was a nun. So she stopped. Anyone can marry any one of them. So if her older brother die, he can be the king, and the throne of the kingdom of Constantinople to go to the another name. She doesn't want this. So she let the another two sisters and she to be a nun, so no one can be a king, because the king have to be only man in that time. Not like now queen and king, no. Have to be king, because the king in that time he can fight. So her brother not have any kids. His wife, the one she found it to him, she hasn't got kids. She told him, all right, don't worry about this, married another one. He said, no, I am not gonna marry another one unless I go ask the people in wilderness, the monastery. They went to the monastery of St. Macarius. He sent one of his worker with one of the official person to go to the monk and ask them with Saint John the Adolf, I want to marry again. If I married again, I will have kids. He said no. She started pushing him. Saint John the Adolf, he passed away. So they send another two. He tells them, go ask them. If I married again, I will have kids. They coming to look for Saint John the Adolf. Where is he? He passed away. So they went to his tomb and they asked him. He answered from the tomb. And they said, tell the king, if he married even 10 people, he not gonna have a kids. These two, they start to come back. The barbarian coming to the monastery, and they start to killing the monk, and they start to see the crown of the martyrdom coming each one. And remember in the mass, we remember the 49 of she had. These are the 49 people. When they was there, they saw the crown and they killed the 49 monk of she had. So he went to tell the king. He said, all right, go back, get this money, build a church under this 49 people of she had, and this church is still until now in the monastery of St. Macarius. And they said, I'm not gonna marry. They start to ask him, all right, we need to do a bill for Otahi. He said, all right, we do a council. They call second official. The one we believe in, the one only in the mass, we said Nicaea and Constantinople and Ephesus. Ephesus the first, there is second Ephesus, and Bob Dioscorus was the head of this because this was a council of international council, but because it was only a bill, all the church didn't believe that it's council number 4. They call, but the history call the second official. They get the Bob Dioscorus. Bob Dioscorus come with 10 metropolitan and 10 bishop, and they ask one of the secretary from Alexandria come, and they start to do the appeal. Nestorius, he appeals the decision. I be excommunicate not fully. They bring his bishop. They said, why you excommunicate him? He said, he believe in 1, 2, 3. And that's wrong. He said, all right, bring Otahi. Otahi, like I said, bring Otahi. He's sneaky, like I said. They tell him what you believe. He doesn't want to talk. He start to write again. They said, listen, unless you talk, we cannot excommunicate. He started to tell them, I believe in Saint Athanasius and his theology. I believe in Saint Bob Dioscorus. I believe in everything. They tell him, write what you said now. He write. They said, if he believe in our faith, why we excommunicate him? Let him come back. So they restore him to priesthood again and the head of the monastery. Okay? Because Bob Dioscorus restored him back, starting now we have another issue. Philippianos, they said, because you excommunicate innocent person, they excommunicate him. Because Philippianos, when he started talking about the faith, he found himself, he supported Nestorius heresies. And in this meeting, Laon, he said his faith was written by Latin language. Maybe they didn't understand very well, but the bishop, they found the Leon, he followed Nestorius too. Pope Dioscorus excommunicate Leon. So in this meeting, they excommunicate the head of the Church of Rome, Leon. They excommunicate the head of the Church of Constantinople, Philippianus. King Theodosius passed away, so there is no one to inherit the kingdom. Anyone to be inherit the kingdom, he cannot be outside the family of King Theodosius. But we still have the three sisters, but the three sisters none. They can't marry. But the older one, Bolcharia, she's the evil one. She sent it to all the bishop, I need to marry to keep the kingdom under our family name. No one of the bishop agree with her except Leon, the head of the Church of Rome. So he did a favor for her, so she can do a favor for him later on. She married the head of the army. His name Marcian. He was the head of army, and her name Bolcharia. Philippianus was the heir bishop, and the church excommunicate him to bring Boticha back. Philippianus start to want to appeal again, but the church excommunicate him and exiled him. Philippianus, he died in exile. But they said, the church of Alexandria started getting very strong. They used to call Pope Dioscorus the Pharaoh of Egypt. Okay, they said, all right, what's happened? We need to check. What happened was the Philippianus was fair or not. So Leon of Rome, he's very angry because what they done to him. So they started sending to the Marcian, we need you to have a council of the church. So we can see what happened with Philippianus, we can see what happened with Leon. Never before any European person, he alters the council. It was always Theodosius, he alters the council. But Marcian, he want to alter the council. He want to do a council in Nicaea again to be like before, the Theodosius the Great before. Was have war in that time, so they wanted to Chaldonius, what they call Chaldonius in English? Yeah, this was the evil one, remember this name, because in this one we not accept, no one accept this one after this one. They start to call all the church around the world to come to this one. But what they done, they told the church of Egypt, Pope Dioscorus come. He came with maybe about, the second official council was 130 bishops. So they said we need to have a new council so we can see what happened to Philippianus and Leon. Philippianus in that time, he started sending to Leon letter, he sent him letter, he support him. Leon, he started sending a letter to Marcian the king, why Egypt always do this to us, and so on and so on. So he started to gather all Nestorius bishop to attend the council. They start attending the council, and when they attend the council, Pope Dioscorus walk in. When Pope Dioscorus walked in, he found 630 bishops. And he surprised. Pope Dioscorus, when he come, he got with him a bishop, Saint Macary. Remember the three Saint Macary, the one with, is it the one, the Saint Macary of Etko or Etfo? One of the three Saint Macary. They walk from the door. Pope Dioscorus who talked to Saint Macarius, he found Saint Macarius disappeared. What happened? The guard stopped him. He said, how you can come to the palace? He was a very, not poor, they very, wearing a normal clothes. All the bishop coming from Europe, from here, wearing nice stuff, something shiny, whatever, linen. And this guy coming with, he said, how come you come to the palace of the king wearing this? Pope Dioscorus, he looked, he go back, he said, what did you do? He said, he can't walk wearing this. He said, listen, this bishop, his heart better than your king. Come with me. He said something, but I'm not going to say. He said that better than his shoes better than your king heart. Something like that, the scholar said. And he took him with him. Went inside. Bob Dioscorus attended the meeting. They found 630 people. He said, oh my God, the biggest council was how many? The number. Anyone remember Nicaea? Was 300, what we say in the Mass? 18 of Nicaea. Guys, you need fish oil. And how many on Constantinople?
Wasn't that 150?
200 in Ephesus and 150 of Constantinople. And the one, the second Ephesian, was 130, 630. So Bob Dioscorus, he said, what happened? Why all these bishops coming? So one of the bishops, he said, they coming to make sure the right faith. He said, the faith we already established, and we have Saint Athanasius and Pope Carolus the 24. If these people come older by the king, I'm not gonna speak. But if this council ordered by God, I will speak, and whatever God say in my mouth, I will say. He was sitting with the head of the council. They found one person from Roman church. He said, why Bob Dioscorus sit in the front? He coming here so we can judge him why he bring Oticha back. What he done was wrong. So started a lot of people put the voice up, whatever. He went back. He said, all right. He sat next to the judge. The king ordered 19 judge. He ordered army around the city. No one can allow to go in or out. Was like war, was planning something. 630 bishops inside. And they start talk about why you excommunicate Philippianus and why you allowed Oticha to go back. The history of the church is they tell us we are believing Oticha one. That's why I told you don't read for the Western church, because they said Bob Dioscorus, he gave him absolution. So first thing they told the Bob Dioscorus, why you give him absolution? He said, before I talk, have a look to the minute of the council. What was in the minute of the council? Oticha, he says the right face. But they tell him in the council, he's a liar. He said, if he lying, take him and burn him. But what I did as a council, I didn't only sign. Have a look to the decree of the council. Was 130 bishops sign Oticha come back to his church. Why you blame me only? The bishop stand up, they said, you threatening us, you will kill us if we didn't answer. So one of the bishops from Egypt, they tell them, people used to martyr for the right faith. If you care about yourself or your throne, you shouldn't be a bishop. They started to say what else Saint Dioscorus said. They left all the story about Oticha and Philippianus and they start to focus about the Bob Dioscorus. One of the bishops, he said Bob Dioscorus, he killed the Philippianus. Remember Philippianus exile? So Bob Dioscorus, they tell them read the minute. One of the minutes later on, the queen Belcharia, she's sending a letter to Bob Leon. She said, Philippianus, he died in the exile. I will bring him to our city. He said, how I kill him if she's sending he died in the exile? They found this not gonna work. They said, Bob Dioscorus, he stopped the weeds to come to Libya. Exactly the same technique they done with Pope Athanasius. And they can't find any mistake. So they said, you didn't read the letter coming from Leon. He said, I asked the person to read, but he said the king is sending message. He interrupt and read the message of the king. But Leon sent a letter on this council with one of the bishops. They start to read Leon what he write. They found that Leon his writing like the heresies. So Bob Dioscorus, he said, if Leon, the Pope of Rome, still believe in this one, we excommunicate him. They found that some of the bishops attending, coming to support the king and supporting against Dioscorus. When Dioscorus stand up and they talk about right faith, they start to change. They said, you only Dioscorus, you keep the right faith. They found the meeting can be out of control. So the king and the people, they said, we need 5-day rest to read very well Latin, because he write his decree with Latin, we need to understand very well. So they give the break 5 days to go through this one, and we decide what you do. Bob Dioscorus went with his bishop to whatever the inn he living or the hotel, whatever in that time. And after 3 days, they start make a meeting, and they put guard around the judge and around the Bob Dioscorus, and they didn't tell them we have a meeting after 3 days. The law of the council, anyone we accused him or anyone we need him to speak, we send him 3 times. So they send the 2 people from soldier from the king to tell Bob Dioscorus, we have a meeting today, we need you to come. He said, but we said 5 days. They said, no, we decide today. He tried to come out. The soldier outside, they said, we're not allowed. They tell them, you tell me to come, but you're not allowed me to leave. They said, not our job. Our job to ask you to come. You can come or not come, that's not our job. He said, but I cannot come because you put the guard outside. And they went the meeting, they said, Bob Dioscorus doesn't want to come. They wait for another day, and they send another 2 people to ask him to come. He tried to come. They guard all the bishop, Coptic Egyptian bishop, and the Pope, not allowed to leave. And they said, we send him for 2nd time, we send him for 3rd time. They send for 3 times, the judge didn't attend, nothing happened, and they write on the decree, we ask Dioscorus to come 3 times, he refused to come, we excommunicate him. So they excommunicate Bob Dioscorus, excommunicate Bob Dioscorus from his priesthood and to be a pope. Number 1, this council not have authority to do this. Bob Dioscorus was the head of the council. Number 2, in the excommunicate, the only thing they said he didn't come. They didn't tell anything about his heresies. Number 3, the judge not attending this one was 19 judges, the king bought them. So the judge, after 5 days, they hear what happened. They told them, the judge, he was very angry. They said, you will give count to God for what you done for divide the church. Bob Dioscorus, he found 603 people signed the decree excommunicate. So Bob Dioscorus, they said, show me the creed. They show him the decree, everyone signed, excommunicate. He from the 4 corner, he signed. Anyone, he believe Jesus, he's not one after the 2 nature to be one, and he divide, he be excommunicate. For the 4 part, everyone believe wrongly, then our faith he be excommunicate. Before he leave, the queen called him, and she told him, listen, during my mom, there is one person who was very stubborn like you, was John Chrysostom. Her mom, she was against Saint John Chrysostom. Saint John Chrysostom was the head bishop of the Constantinople. They make a statue for her mom, and everyone drink and dancing in the street. And one day she took money from one widow, she went to him. So the queen coming to the church, he closed the door in her face. He told her, go fix what you did to the widow before you come to have Holy Communion. She get very angry from him. So she make a statue in front of the church, people dancing and drinking. She said the Queen Herodia, remember Herodia on the time of John the Baptist, coming and ask for the head of John again, like John Chrysostom. She heard, she wasn't happy. What she done, her husband, first time he tried to sign exiled John Chrysostom, his pen broke. Big earthquake, he's scared, he left him. Another time, they said, we take him. They took him, they started from city to city, move him. He was an old man and weak. He died between travel. They didn't let him sleep. Every time he sleeps, they wake him up, tired, he died. Bob Dioscorus, in front of the Queen Bolcharia, the one evil one, she told them, listen, during my mom was someone stubborn like him, and you know what happened to him. He said, and do you know what happened to your mom? After Saint Chrysostom died, she got a very bad disease, and she went to many doctors. no heal until she went to the tomb of Saint John Chrysostom, crying, weeping to tell him, forgive me. She healed. He said, and do you know what happened to your mom? She went and weeping in his tomb. I am in front of you. Do what exactly like your mom done, and you will gain what your mom happened to her. She did. She wasn't happy. She slapped him in his face. He was an old man. 2 of wisdom teeth fall down. The soldiers, they found her done this. They put him in the floor. They started hit him, pulling his beard. He collected an envelope, his tooth and the beard, and they sent it to the church of Alexandria and tell them, look, what I did to keep the right face. They exiled him to the city of Gargara. Before they exiled him, one of the bishops, he come to him, come, agree what they believe so you can go back to your country. He said, no, never do this one. He stayed in this city about 4 or 5 years and he passed away there. They sent him to one Nestorius bishop. In the beginning, who treated him not respect whatever, he make a lot of miracle. He started preaching the atheist people and bring them to the face. And he took with him, remember what I said, he goes the council with the poor bishop, what's his name? Bishop, what's his name? Macarius, the bishop of Itku or Itfu, one of the 3 San Macari, remember? Who told him, you go back to the Alexandria? He wanted to stay with him. He said, no, they only exiled me. Why you have to say, go back to Alexandria, you have the crown of martyrs in the Alexandria. So one of the ship coming to this island, they tell them, please, I want to go Alexandria. He went. To show how holy is this person, one person was paralyzed, they put him in the boat, in the ship. He just, he walked, he stepped in his feet start working. He went to Alexandria. They found the Leon. Leon was the head of the Church of Catholic. He sent his creed, anyone from the Orthodox not believing this one, we kill him. In one day in Alexandria, they killed 20,000 people. In one day, Christian against Christian. Amba Samuel the confessor, his eye, they come to the monastery, tell him, you believe in this? He said no. They hit him in his eye, he was blind in one eye. After this one, they start to go in every church. If they not believe on the Leon or Jesus have 2 nature after he be a full God, because they said like Nestorius, we believe in when Jesus in the cross, how God he be punished. Saint Dioscorus No, he said Jesus was in the wedding of Cana of Galilee. He's the same Jesus, he's the same God. He's the one presented by himself, and he's the one turned water to wine. They start to persecute the church. They close all the church. People used to pray in the tomb. People used to pray in the monastery because they close all the church. Christian against Christian. Who bring the Arab, the Muslim Arab to Egypt? Because the Romans was occupying Egypt in that time. The Copt was the population, all the Egypt was Copt. There is no Muslim before this one. We didn't help the Romans because they persecute us very well, and was one of the big reason the Arab come to Egypt without any help from the Copt. What's the persecution of the Roman to us? Someone, his name Mucaucus. This Mucaucus was the one person coming from Rome. They make him a patriarch and they make him head of the army. And they persecute the Christian very, very hard, and the Christian didn't help them at all when the Arab come. The Arab, when they come, was about, I think it's 3,000 soldiers, and coming from the desert. No weapon, no education, ignorance, and they take over Egypt. Egypt was a very strong army in that time, but because they didn't get help from anyone. We have another 5-10 minutes. I tell you about the scholar, what they said about Dioscorus. They said Dioscorus, he excommunicate only because he didn't agree with Leon, or he excommunicate Leon. They said Dioscorus, he's still the one keeping the faith. They said Dioscorus, and a lot of people done a lot of study about Bob Dioscorus. Bob Dioscorus, they said his disciple come with him and he wrote his story in Gargara until he passed away. He come back to Egypt and he gives the story, and definitely it was big. This council, if I show you in Arabic, the summarize, we got our reference for here. One lady, she got all the reference from the history of council written by French. She was very good in French, and a lot of people in English, they write in this one, and a lot of people done a lot of scholar and a lot of study, a lot of PhD in this one. The idea in that time, 451, we start hearing about Western Church and Eastern Church. Catholic Church excommunicate us. We're not allowed to have Holy Communion with them. They're not allowed to have Holy Communion with them. Pope Shinoda, I think after maybe 16th or 17th century, first time he went to visit them. And he started from that time. We have Council of the Church in Egypt to get the Catholic, to get the Protestant, to get the Antioch, and they start, we have dialogue after dialogue after dialogue. We wish that one day will be one church. We can be very strong. But I'm not against any church or anything. But what the Roman Church or Catholic Church do now, it's very, I'm not gonna say shame or whatever. They allowed for gay marriage. They allowed women to give Holy Communion. They allowed for a lot of stuff. They want to do gay priests. They want to do a lot of stuff. They start to be away from the right face. That's why, they said one of the meeting I was giving, and I was reading what the Vatican, very recent, maybe 3-4 years ago, they said if a Christian woman married a Muslim, he can have Holy Communion in the church, because they took the verse of St. Paul. As I said, he be sanctified or be holy from his wife. I attend one of a close friend, and was Catholic, and he passed away. His parents, our friend, her son, 19 years old, passed away. Was he was healthy, everything. Went to swim, he gone. Anyhow, we went to attend their mass, and I was sitting, and I found his mom. She stand up, the priest tell her stand up and give the Holy Communion to people. I attend this myself. I'm not talking about history. I attend this myself. What? One lady, she as a normal lady to give Holy Communion to everyone. So it is, I don't know, they went too far. I was secondary school coordinator in this church. And one day one of the people here, they was in Liverpool Catholic one, what they call? All Saints. He come to tell me, and Abuna Gorgios was here in that time. The teacher, religious teacher, she took the Bible, Old Testament, threw in the floor, and she told them that's only history. It's not true. They have first 5 books, they said not true. When you start deep in the Catholic, they have another heresies for bread, what they call. They said, if you are very bad and Purgatory. Yeah. You know what this means? When you do this on Bab Shinoda, he done big book about this one. What this mean? If you are very bad, you have a sister very good, she takes some of the good to put for you, and you can get punished 5-6 years, and you go back to the paradise. The church not teaching on the Bible. He said, when the door closes, it's closed. I can enjoy my life and my wife very good, and she can let me go to the paradise. It's not. A lot of stuff. We respect everyone. But, the judgment for us, the Bible. Bring a Bible and the father of the church. That's what we get. And as you see, when I was talking in this history of a church, I told you how this council of the church affects the mass. So when you start the mass very well, understand it. It's all coming from the Bible, all coming from the history of the church. That's why the creed, the stuff, you can't change anything. So that's what our church is very rich. I wish one day you do study. You will find a lot of stuff. I spent 20 years to do only one part of study, second canonical books. One time we will come to give you. 20 years of my life, I spent only study second canonical books. I published the 9 books. I was second one in Coptic Orthodox Church published this one. If everyone takes something in his life and focus about and do something before you leave here, you will leave something. Who remember Dr. Samir Tadros? Dr. Samir Tadros, by the way, ask your parents maybe, he's the first one receive Bab Shinoda first trip in Australia. He was looking after this. He was my doctor. He was a very, very good person. He used to preach in the church, give sermon like me every church. He's my example. One of first book I write, for him. He encouraged me. After first book I wrote, I have a lot of hard time. The books, to write books, take about 2-3 years, a lot of financial and the time. Here you have no time. Anyhow, after first books, I said, I'm not going to do anything. Enough. And after 2 years, he met me. Ehab, what happened after first book? I said, doctor, it was very stressful, very hard, and the feedback wasn't good. He said, if every 2 years you do something for the church, at least you leave something before you leave from here. He encouraged me. That's why first book for me, I write, thank for him. I still remember him, was very holy person. When you go to him, he heal you spiritual before physical. These are the people can affect you. These are the people you need to learn. Focus about something small, but he can be successful. Where is the other 3? Okay, I won't say something, take it or leave it. I don't mind this last time. Never stop service against another service. They was in the canteen. That's right, last time. How many youth can help in the canteen? We have 100, but how many youth can help in Sunday school? Always remember, if you are a deacon, that's your first one. If you are a Sunday school, that's the first priority. Don't join any another service. A lot of people can do, but to do a deacon, and you know what you say, it's more important than I stand in the canteen. Canteen, how many youth look standing outside, do nothing? Put them in canteen, put them in library, put them in something like this better. But you're not gonna find a good people to be in Sunday school, because look how much time you spend. Look how many effort guys he done, Abuna done, the speaker come to put you on right track. Don't come after 1 year said, I'm not gonna serve, please. Be careful. God will judge you. The church spend a lot of time and the effort to put you a good servant. So this one, and the church put a lot of effort and time to make you a good person. You need to transfer to second generation. If my servant wasn't good, I shouldn't be here. Like I told you, if Dr. Samir didn't encourage me, I shouldn't write anything. If my Sunday school servant didn't encourage me, I shouldn't be here. Always remember, God give you talents. Use it, He will bless you and give you more and more. Any question? Right time? Glory be to God forever and ever.